Jo, dawno cię nie widziałem. I'm waiting for a phone call, Sunny Girl. You want to give me a call? Oh, good, I guess. Yo, Donna, give me a call. I want to hear your Scottish accent, Donna. Why is this, oh, this one still does that, eh? Oh. The iPhone has a different gay. We can still go red room in I can still go red room in on the Android. Just want someone to join on the podcast. Give me a ring-a-ding-ding. Donna, call me. So the way you call Donna is super easy. The way you phone is you click the link in my bio and you go into here. Donna. Super simple call. It's anonymous too, by the way. No one's gonna know who you are. And then yeah, there's a message button. You click the message and boom, we broadcast you. Lenseth. Donna's gonna do it. Let's see, Donna. We're waiting for Donna's call. We're waiting for Donna's call. Callie, call me then. Callie, Sammy. Someone's got a call. We're waiting for it. Iris Ketchup, what's up? Ooh, I just got something from somebody. I think we will begin. Yes. Hello?
Hi.
You can see me, hey?
I can.
You're not the Scottish lady.
I'm not.
That's okay. I like ya. I like this already. You are a
Honestly,
surprise. She's a surprise. Whoever this is, you're a surprise.
thanks.
You're like a gift from God.
Aw.
Thank you. Just gonna make sure they can hear you. Oh, look, your face shows up there for a little bit when there's some light. She shows up. She's got a huge smile. Okay, you're just some young, beautiful woman.
Not young. 43.
You're 43.
Uh-huh.
And how long have you been watching?
I've seen you on a lot. You're always on my For You page, and I always catch you live.
And so you know what this live is about. Have we talked before? No.
No.
You've tried, though. You've tried to connect.
No, this is the first time.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. I just looked at the second call. And so, yeah, you're like, okay, you don't look 43. You look like you're like a young 30. Your dog mom.
I am a dog mom.
So if you've seen me a bunch, there's a few things. We like to know if maybe you got kind of answers for today's life, or if we get to find out about your life and see what's going on. Which one?
If I got answers?
Yeah, like, are you happy?
I think I am happy, yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into that. Let's find out what makes you happy and how do we learn from you, because it's not easy being happy these days.
It isn't. I think the trick is, and I'm not gonna lie, that it's very recent for me, but I cannot own other people's feelings, and I can't wear them, and I think that's the key, especially in the time that we're in.
Ooh, well, how did you get there? If it was recent, you're 43. That's like, I understand where you're coming from, and I want to dig into that.
You know what? It was being cheated on and seeing everyone's responses to it, and my own needing to focus on my own self-preservation. Everyone wants to be angry, but it really was a situation I didn't have any control over, and in order to come out of it intact and a good mom and a good role model for my 13-year-old, I could not own any of the feelings that those people wanted to get out of me. I couldn't. I didn't want to give them that.
Who, baby daddy or husband or whoever it was? Tell us about the relationship. Tell us about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is precious. This is so cliche. It was the neighbor who was the mom of our son's best friend. Like, so she ruined her family too.
Was it a fling?
No, she was one of those people at like parties would flirt with everyone's husband. Well, her husband was there too. So you just didn't know whose husband it would be, and it was mine.
Did she always like cheat? Like, was there other men, you think?
That's the word on the street.
So she said, but she was caught, her husband caught her with your husband.
Yeah, by looking at phone records. Who does that anymore? Who looks at cell phone bills? Nobody.
He did? He's the one who actually found them both out?
Yeah.
And then he told you.
No. I was on a trip with friends, and I had come home, and he came home in the middle of the day and was like, this happened. was because her husband said, if you don't tell her, I'm going to.
Oh, so the husband was gonna rat him out, and then he told you when you came home from work, and it ruined your marriage.
Yeah, I did try to work through things for the sake of a midlife crisis, but he didn't let her go, so there's no hope to make anything work.
So they're together.
Mm-hmm.
They're still together?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Fuck. Okay, well, at least he's sticking to it. Fuck.
Well, because he's a weak man, and she's easy.
Oh, so when did that happen?
At the beginning of 2000.
2 years ago. You caught him cheating. It was like, is it COVID yet or no COVID yet?
No COVID yet. He moved out once COVID hit, and that was it.
So COVID hits and he gets the boot. And he's living with her?
No.
I'm picking here. I guess it's not that important. He's not that important. The fact that you were able to remove yourself from the situation. So who blamed you?
I mean, I think he does. He still won't own that he cheated. No, he's this is fun, the 13-year-old, because she's female and a natural-born investigator. She found him out, and now he's telling her that he did not cheat on me.
Oh, so she found him out separately, like you didn't tell it when you guys were breaking up?
No, because there were kids involved on both sides. I told him that was his story to tell, so I didn't tell her no. And he didn't want to, and obviously still doesn't, but she knows.
The 13-year-old, because that's also the best friend's best friend.
No, this is, oh God, it's even more twisty. This is our oldest, who is in school with their oldest, and our youngest two boys are best friends.
Right. And so she found him out. He's still lying to her, and you're just plowing forward. You don't even give a shit. How about with the kids? Like when the kids start blaming people, what did you do there?
You have to let them have their feelings. Their feelings aren't wrong, and it's happening. It's happened to them too. So I remained honest and open, and I think that's preserved my relationship with them.
How old is the little one?
He is now 11, and he is very much like doesn't address anything.
So he's repressing it. And it's gonna pop out later, eh? 11 is those years. Those are the years where it's like, my mom cheated. I grew up with a cheating mom, and I can't remember, but I wasn't 11, I was like 6. My brother was 10, and he got angry. He's still angry.
Yeah, my daughter is 14 now, and she's very angry.
And so my brother ended up being this fucking, he can't heal. And he's like a perpetually 10-year-old boy stuck in a 40-year-old body, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't worry. You're a healthy mom. You sound fun, and at least you gave your kids space. My mom was angry, and my mom like fucking, my mom was the one who did it, and she still doesn't fucking own up to that shit.
Yeah, that's where my ex is at. He doesn't own anything.
That's what hurts the kids, right? The kids don't know, and then they don't know reality. Well, at least that's what happened to my brother, because he's like hates my mom because he just didn't understand growing up. There was never any consequences, and then he realized that the family was shattered because, you know, my mom was acting slutty.
Yeah, I mean, how do you have trust for that particular gender when all you know is that they're dishonest.
You know, you're right, because it's a gender thing for him. He hates women. Damn, it's the whole gender, I just realized, not just mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually grew up with him as my older brother, right? So he was always my sculptor. But like, he hated my mom. He taught me to be angry at my mom. And so, do you think that? I mean, you'll get to see that with your kids. But you seem healthy. You seem like a really gentle spirit.
I think so. And I think that's what we were talking about. That's my biggest lesson was I wanted to, at the end of the day, when my kids are grown, I want them to look back and see that I handled it gracefully.
I got questions.
Okay.
So you're happy. You're moving forward. It's been almost a year. Have you had sex since?
Yeah.
You've been having sex. So you're confident. You're beautiful. How did you meet these new people? Like, moving on, how did you meet new people?
I did the online dating thing.
Why are you ughing right now? We're on an online date right now.
I quit it. I have been clean from online dating since November.
So when was the last time you got laid?
Once this year.
Was it good?
Like, it was fun.
Who was it?
Well, he's a friend now. It was a friend of a friend.
Okay, younger?
No, he's older.
Was it like a party? Like, how did you meet him? How did you get in there? Like, how do you get back in it?
Oh, gosh. So he was a friend of a friend, and he was one of the first people that I talked to after being single, actually. And it was just like a really slow burn. And we have a lot of fun whenever we see each other. It's like silly. And it's just easy to be around him. So whenever we decide to hang out, sometimes make out.
I like this guy. Okay, so you're silly. So how long have you known him? Like, did you guys grow up together or something?
No, I met him through friends. He's like one of my friend's old high school friends.
So no relationship with this guy though, hey?
No, I just talked to him last night actually, and he was telling me about another girl. So he kind of likes drama situations with women. I don't provide that. I think I'm boring in that area.
You're sexy, so it's okay.
Thank you.
Well, fuck that. If he's bringing in drama, that's red flaggy.
Yeah.
What kind of drama? So, is he with other women? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. Last night, his drama was that he met this woman through another woman he was seeing. And this woman was on a date with another woman last night, and was calling me kind of to whine about it. And then he said she was out with her ex-boyfriend after her date with another woman, and then was like, I guess that's nice that they're still friends. I'm like, bro, they're not friends.
They're fucking. You're smart at least. You're smart. Oh my god, yeah, she didn't get laid with the woman, so she's going to the ex.
Exactly. Why isn't she calling you?
Because he's not in a relationship with her, and why is he telling you all this stuff?
We just have a good relationship like that. It's easy to talk.
And you're not jealous?
No.
What's up with that?
Why would I be? We're not
cool. I like this. I like you. How about when it came to your husband? Do you think how come your husband couldn't communicate with you that he was going to be such an idiot?
Um, well, I don't want to say what everyone says about the narcissist stuff. But he couldn't admit that he wasn't perfect. And so he just doesn't admit that he's wrong at anything. Like, I don't know. And this woman was very free with her attention, and I think that's what he needed. He wasn't lacking in our marriage, but I think the newness, you can't really, I was never going to be able to give him like the butterflies and the excitement of somebody new being interested in you. That's a feeling I would never be able to give him. We were married for 15 years. So I think that he was weak and needed it.
You knew it though.
Yeah.
So why didn't you open the door for him?
Because I'm a loyal person and I believed that marriage and love are a choice. It's not something that you just get to have. And I made the choice to be loyal, and he didn't.
So I feel like did you see did you see it coming?
No, not at all. Nobody did. No one in our life.
You didn't see it
He's
coming.
the guy who would never do that to anybody.
Oh. So you didn't see it coming.
Yes.
But he had all.
He's Mr. Perfect, Mr. Nice Guy.
So if there was a massive flaw like that, fuck. Can we go back? I don't know. It seems like you're actually okay. What's your dream?
That's probably where I'm not okay. I think I still am having a hard time allowing myself to go have a new life, or I don't know, seeing that, allowing myself to see that and dream it. I do have a new career. I'm a new realtor. I'm doing okay at it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm doing okay. Real estate. Ditch is the dude. And now we're like dealing with her needing to find her.
I don't know how you date without online though.
Fuck dating. Okay, well you don't date until we figure out if you got your dream. Because like, who are you gonna date if you don't know if you're following your dream or not? Because then you're gonna date somebody and then your dream falls in your lap and you're going the wrong direction for it because you're dating some fucker you don't like, or that doesn't like your dream. That's why I'm always like, yo, fuck relationships. Women, I mean, mature women should be getting laid. They need to have sex because that just makes them level-headed. But they also they don't. It's not like sometimes like people seem to be like thinking they need the relationship to be happy, but I think they need their dream to be happy.
I 100% agree with you. Like, how will I need to be stable in my dream, or someone's going to take it or have me fall in line with their dream?
Right. You have to stay on your own track. So relationships are actually like the icing. They're the cherry on top. No guarantee, ever.
Right.
Especially in relationships. You know, not even with our kids. I'm only going to learn because my kid decided to fucking take off with his mom, and I was like, oh, Jesus, I thought that was a given. It's not, even if you want. So then you realize you kind of get turned inside, and so I'm asking you, have you turned inside like really, really well? Like, have you looked inside yourself?
process of that. Having a new career is really like unfolding me. And I'm by myself, so I have to see really who I am. And right now I'm like, oh, I do this. Or one of my biggest things is self-sabotage. I never would have said that, but I totally do that. And I'm like, why am I not I am, outside of me, I am consistent, loyal, I get everything done, I do everything, but for myself, I'm so inconsistent. I do not follow through. I don't know.
Oh, this is awesome. This is the money. So what have you not followed through on?
Oh my gosh, it's everything. Okay, right down to this. How simple is this? There are actual post-it notes that help you develop a habit. There are like 30-day check boxes on these post-it notes. You write your habit and you check it off each day. For example, I was like, okay, I'll start with 3 like little things. Wake up in the morning and drink water. Wash my face morning and night. Washing my face is super important to me. I couldn't even even if I was doing it, I wasn't checking the notes off. Like, what is that? Or I know I want to do it and I'm not like getting up and washing my face in the bathroom that's 10 feet away. Like, I don't know.
That's interesting.
It's weird.
Yeah. The face washing. So,
I know that's dumb.
No. How about when you? So I want to go back to like, especially for dreams, to find out what people's dreams are, because maybe your dream is to wash your face.
It's not. I'm just using that as an example. Like, how simple is that? And I'm not doing it.
I love it. I actually think you're on your journey. I think I did catch it. I believe that this show and this thing that I do is here to encourage people who are, especially the beginning of their journey. Some people need help getting cracked and finding out that, listen, you need to be alone, you need to be independent, and you can't be afraid, and you need to move forward on it. Otherwise, your soul is gonna like be unhappy.
Yeah.
And so, but do you have any clues on how to get there?
Oh no.
Like, what are the questions you need to ask?
I know it's not another person that's gonna give it to me.
For sure, it's not. And so, here, I'll start picking. Were you young when you got married?
26.
Ooh, so why did you get married? Like, what happened?
All right, well, there's that. It was the nice guy. It was absolutely settling because he checked all of the boxes for who you're supposed to marry.
He was good on paper. He's perfect. See, this is great. I think this is great because like young women, you know how many 26 to 25, 19 to 27-year-old women are out there being like, well, he's great on paper, and they're fucking marrying him. This is, I think, is a curse. That's what I mean. I'm like, you already at that point, it sounds like, you were already following, you know how you were telling me how it's like, oh, I can't carry other people with me anymore? I think you said it. Well, I think when we're young, we're carrying people and making their decisions that they want us to make when we marry our husband, for example.
1,000%.
Right. And so do you see where I might be digging? Like, why were you following those people? Who were you following? And you got to make sure that you've ditched that shit, because it's if people don't know their dreams, it's usually because those people have latched down and they're trying to force us into their reality, and especially when we were kids. So who was that? Who was the one who thought, what part of you made you want to marry the guy that was perfect? Like, whose voices, do you know? Does that make sense?
like,
Yeah, I know. And then like force, and what that does is it puts your family into the grinder, and then shit happens and your kids have to fucking deal with trauma. So I'm like, I don't believe in what you're talking about, kind of, and I don't think you do either. And I'm just wondering about who you are outside of what that grinder. It's like, so what did your little girl want? Like, what do we call you? We have to make up a name for you. Where are you from?
California.
Oh, California. You're a Cali. So yeah, what did you want to do when you grow up? When you were a kid?
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh, well, are you even close to animals? Maybe in real estate.
No. I actually, when I met him, I was a vet tech.
Ooh, do you see? Do you see? You were even. Do you see? Oh my God! So why did you quit? The family needed more money or something.
Yeah, and I was getting super sick because of allergies. I was sick all the time.
Oh, so you're telling me you can't actually be a vet tech?
No.
So life gave you a wound. So what's the next dream? She got kicked out of vet tech because she's got allergies. But you already were. That's a big deal. That's why. So I feel like you're actually like on. You're a cool person. I can tell. And she's like, so
Thank you.
that little girl though, who wanted to be a vet tech, she's your boss. Like I feel like she's the one who I'm talking to actually.
Okay.
So when you were like, you caught me in the middle, I'm like, yo, I'm talking to that part of you that took the risk and called some weirdo on TikTok.
And also, I woke up. I was sleeping. I woke up and I turned on TikTok.
Perfect. So, I mean, it's so that we can talk about your dream. You're actually still in your dream. You're
Okay.
you're super safe. It's this weird spot. It's like, and we just want to find out like what castle you want to build in the sandbox, because you're allowed to, and the universe will give you everything you need for it. But you really need to know what it is. But I think also on top of it, you know what it is, just in case you're going to try to convince yourself you don't. That's bullshit.
I think, okay, so here's another thing. Before I met him, I did not want kids. And I never was the chick that was always in a relationship. I was super fine not being in a relationship. And I didn't have any urges to like find somebody to marry. And now I feel that coming back. Obviously not the kid part, because I've got them, I love them, and they're the best part of what came out of that. But I think I'm okay being alone and being successful. I want all the things on my own.
That's.
I don't know where.
I love
I
that.
do want a partner, but I don't know that I don't need it.
I preach that our partner is like the little veterinarian. Does that make sense? She's our partner. And I think I'll go deeper. The reason I do that is because when my parents were fucking mangled my understanding of reality, I have to go back to that little kid and nurture him, right? So I'm not sure if that happened to you. It's funny because it happened to your kids, right? So your kids are kind of gonna have a glitch, and they're gonna need to heal. Like your unhappy daughter, if she stays unhappy, she may have to be, as she gets older, might have to go back and be kind to herself, even though she found all the.
Boys right now. She hates boys.
Well, and there's all that kind of stuff that happens because of it, right? Because of our families.
Yeah. I had a very messed up childhood. Marriage wasn't a part of anything I ever knew.
Well, tell us about it. Let's hear about your childhood.
I don't know who my dad ever was. I have a half sister, and I was abused by the two men that I knew my mom to be with.
So what did that 16-year-old want? Can you remember that?
That's the thing. That might bring us all the way to here. She never really got to drink because she was surviving.
So you got to go back to her and be gentle with her.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's legit. I mean, she's probably 16 and probably, you're probably going to need to go back even further, especially if other things have happened. And you don't forgive them. I think what you do is you empower yourself to you protect yourself from the pain.
I do forgive the people that hurt me. They were sick.
And you can forgive the people too. But that doesn't stop that little person that was you from having that trauma been inflicted on her. So then there's that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that because how do I dream as an adult if I never was able to dream as a kid?
Well, we don't dream as adults. Adults are all dead inside. What makes a real good adult is they can go back and find their kid. And so yeah, our heart doesn't ever grow up. We're not adults. We never grow up. That's bullshit. Can't you tell? Like, can't you see how the world fucking erases everything you thought it was? And then you end up, either you end up hard or you end up still a kid. It's one or the other.
That's true.
And the people who are kids at heart, they're well, how many people don't know how to give that little girl space? Oh my God, or to play. Like you told me the lover that you brought in who's a jerk, he's an idiot, but what makes him you were looking for someone to play with and he was playful. That's one thing you mentioned about him.
We totally play. We are like 1,000% childish together.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm talking about? I'm fucking on.
Yeah.
And so he's maybe a drama because he has red flags. He may not be as evolved as you are, and you got to be careful not to let in the red flags. Ooh, super important, especially if you're nurturing little one, because that takes energy. Because really, I don't believe in anything but the relationship with you and your little one or your inner child, right? Like, I really feel like there is no other relationships in our life. If we have that one and we maintain it, then other people, the right people, will gravitate within us, right? And so, because we'll know if a red flag, if it affects my relationship with my insides, I'm like, get out of my life immediately. And even though society might be like, but they're rich, they're gonna give you money, you're gonna do a job, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go back to not dreaming.
Right. No, you're 100% right, and I think that's another reason I can't do the online dating. It's too many personalities coming at you to responsibly sort them out.
Huh. For now, maybe because you're just in the beginning phases of actually healing.
Maybe.
And so this is what happened. Again, I'm going to use myself as my example. So meet my inner child and I'm like, oh my God, I'm being kind. And then I'm in a world of fucking shitty people that I've cut myself out of everybody. More or less every relationship in my life I realize is like a reflection of the fucking red flag past that I was carrying, my baggage, So I cut it off and then again I'm alone. And then you're alone. And then in that loneliness with yourself, you're allowed to kind of bring in new people. You have a job in real estate, which kind of lets you meet new people. I'm a photographer and I was like doing really well, but I wasn't going out a lot. I was at home a lot. So I used online dating and not to meet people to fuck, but to meet people to play with. So I had, and again, I'm doing the same thing right now on TikTok with you. So I've built a system where I'm more or less looking for people who want to play. If they don't want to play, then so you wanted to play. That's what I mean. I feel like this is playing. Because we're not actually being our grown-up bullshit self who's like, oh, I'm perfect. It's like, oh my God, man, it hurts. And I make the wrong choices. And they weren't even my choices. They were other people's choices that I let affect me. And so we go back to the before we let other people make those choices, and we were like, what do we want to do, and how do we envision the rest of our life, and we're allowed to stay here. I think it's the Garden of Eden. I call what we're in right now the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like my theory though, and that's my big playground. So obviously you felt safe enough here to talk about what you're talking about, and I can see you, and that's what I mean. You're crystal clear. You're like a really beautiful person, like entity. It's not sexual even in here, but I think eventually people get, like, when you're really comfortable, sex kind of creeps in too, because like that's the adult in us, the adult child that wants to play.
Which, being a female I am super comfortable with that. That also makes it dangerous to play with the opposite sex, because I'm comfortable with it. I don't know.
Which part? What are you comfortable with?
To be fixed there, because that also made everything with online, like, sexual super fast.
Oh, so you're super comfortable. Do the people that you were responding to, were they able to play?
Mm-mm.
Also, you talked about being abused in the past. Do you think that plays a role?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we didn't actually go into it. Depends on your age and then the level of innocence that probably happened. Then you need to go back and protect her for sure.
That's deep. Like, I don't know. Yeah, nobody did. Nobody protected her.
That's what this is all about. I swear to God. And you said she was 16. It's way before she was 16. She made those choices when she was 16 because of what happened to her when she was younger, right? It happens to us when we're like, we all know, you can tell the moments, you have the memories, and some people have more traumatic moments than others, but the trauma's more or less the same. It rips our childhood away from us, and it teaches us to be people we're not. And I think that's, so I mean, you have to go back there, and then, so I'm guessing online.
Well,
Listen.
so what I've learned is that because all of that was taken from younger me, now I have this anxious attachment style. And I think that you're right. I have to go teach little me that I'm safe, so that I don't anxiously attach unnecessarily.
That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Because we anxiously attach to our abusers.
Yeah.
They're the ones who tell us how to do things, right? And so we're like, oh, they're right. And they're like the worst for us.
Right.
And so, yeah, like, I mean, you just said it pretty clear to me. And I can tell, like, when people call, and I'm like, oh, does she want to get cracked, or is she going to be cracking? You're a mix.
Yeah, I think I'm very self-aware, but I think, like, this is so good for me because it's making me answer questions I can't ask myself. But I'm aware enough and open enough to answer honestly.
Yeah. No, like, you called. And so I actually think that all those things, like, you are, that's why you called, right? This is destiny. I also believe the universe is big, and
Absolutely.
it knows what it's doing. Like, you woke up in the middle of the night to call some random stranger, bobbity boo, bitty boo, boo. This isn't an accident, even though, I mean,
No.
I don't do this by accident. And so I steer and I listen to my gut instinct. If I don't want to go on live, I don't do live. This is my little boy. You're actually like, and there's so many things I want to tell you about him, about, like,
I want to know.
they're not safe immediately. You need to go to them. You need to go to them for a long time. It doesn't just happen that you can hang out with your little boy. Like you can go and hang out with your little girl. I'm not sure what it's gonna be like with yours, but for me, it took a lot of going back to the moments where the others or you know, I was watching him get punished, and I was punishing him myself, and I had to stop punishing him myself, and which is super like I could see how self-destructive I was, and then I also got to go back to those moments where others were picking on him and say that that they have no business telling him who they are. And I'll say I got this about 4 or 5 years ago now. And another way I got it, so I met my inner child watching Winnie the Pooh's Christopher Robin's Winnie the Pooh. Do you know Christopher Robin, that movie?
Of course,
The most recent one, right? Did you watch it?
the new movie?
Yeah, like he's like Christopher Robin's an old guy.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
Well, I barely watched it, but here's what triggered me. First off, the trigger was in yoga too. It's very physical. Do you do yoga?
Yes.
I suggest it. That little girl's inside of you. So do some big stretches and watch her pop out during yoga. I believe that. My most intimate moments popped out and I cried in yoga, which is weird. I didn't understand what was happening. But over the years, I remember I was watching Christopher Robin, and Christopher Robin's an old man, and he's thinking about his family and his child, and then he's on a park bench as an adult, and then guess who pops up?
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. An adult Christopher Robin bitches Winnie the Pooh out. He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're like a figment of my imagination. And Winnie the Pooh's like, sure. You know, Winnie the Pooh's nice. He's like, beat me up. I'm not gonna go away. I'm yours. And I realized like that's all I needed to watch in that movie to just see my Winnie the Pooh, which is my little boy. And I was like, oh, and I realized what I was doing to myself. Like in an instant, it just shot me back. And I'm not sure if I'm able to do that for you. Artwork does it. Like that's what this is like. Obviously, Christopher Robin was like some artist's rendition of his childhood, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's, on top of it, after nurturing my inner child for so long, he's with me now. He like left where I used to have to go to meet him halfway or to meet him all the way, and now he just comes to me. So we don't have to wallow in our shit. Now he's kind of like on my left shoulder talking to you. That's my analogy.
Yeah, I think my little girl is shy. And she doesn't know the right moves.
I think she does. Because she called me. So and by the way, I think that they're our destiny and they're our fate. And so they know the right moves. It's us not letting them play those moves out because we're still letting those other people get in the way.
Oh, wow.
They're perfect. Your little girl's perfect. She knows all the answers. She's you. She wins. When you die, it's her, the boss. She's the one in control. You're going to be in the back seat. Or you guys are both navigating together, along with your future self, your dead self, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I'm not sure if you're just stroking my ego if you're getting it now.
No, I think I do. I think I'm the one stifling my little girl.
Oh yeah. Yes. Just like your ex is blaming everyone but himself because of something that probably happened to him when he was a little boy that told him to be fucking perfect.
Do you want to hear something super creepy about this? And now, you know how you cannot see situations for what they are when you're in them? And when you're outside, everything becomes clearer. Listen to this. His dad cheated on his mom. They ended up working out and they're still together. But his dad took up like woodworking, like things to do to be out in the garage and like on his own. Okay, then touched a piece of wood in our marriage or in the entire time I knew him. I'm like, that is so creepy.
Can you see the parallels between what I'm discussing
Yes.
and how life play? And you should look at yourself too, because your fucking husband, your ex, is obviously like, and it sucks because you didn't perform like his mother did.
No.
So, and he, of course, he can't stomach that, and he's already got another woman who's the same woman that, you know what I mean? So he actually kind of did what his dad did, because he just took a woman who can stomach what he did.
Exactly.
And so, you know, you broke your chains, but you know, you have other chains you need to continue to break, because you were perfect, but you were playing a woman that isn't you, and at least you know that now, because you were playing his mother.
Yeah.
But you know, he fucked that up. Good.
I think it's good too. I wasn't supposed to be there.
Ooh, and there's more to this. So when I got my kid, so when I got my inner child, I have a son, and it slapped me in the face that my whole way of communicating with my kid about who he wanted to be was off. If that makes sense. So because I was like always like, you got to study hard, you know, you fuck your dreams, man. Even though, you know, because as an adult, when I was like logical, dreams are stupid. Why you're never going to be a pro soccer player. You're in Edmonton. Soccer players are built in Madrid and Europe. You know what I mean? Just I was putting logic.
Yeah.
And I was just doing exactly what someone was doing to me when I was a kid. And so, boom, getting the kick in the head and then realizing, Jesus Christ, my job is to nurture the little teeny tiny human being that I made, which I got to do, by the way, before he was too old, you know. And he's still like his mom's lover, or like live-in boyfriend guy, he passed away, and they all saw him die. It was pretty traumatic for my son, and he moved with his mother. They built a very strong trauma bond. I took it kind of personally, but by that time I had already started to communicate with him about, hey man, like you got to be who you are, and you got to be careful not to let anybody else's voice actually. And so the two of us are connected, and I think it brought us a lot closer together now that I'm much more gentle to his inner child. But I mean, there's still lots of pain because he moved away and I'm alone. And so that's why I TikTok too, by the way. It's just to fill that gap.
Yeah. Well, and it's a way for, I don't know, in a way it's kind of pretend play. The TikToking.
No, this is the real deal. So, and here's on top of it, I flipped it and I made TikTok my reality. And the playground that you're playing in, this place is more serious than that world that they keep trying to push us into. This is such a serious place. So those of you guys who are watching, consider, you know, this is a podcast. You know, I'm recording our conversation for a podcast too.
Yeah.
So it's podcasted and I'm documenting it. This is like my art, like my life. Like I'm that little boy right now drawing pictures that my brother's, he says they're ugly, but I know they're perfect. I know they're dangerously good. And that's why he's rejecting them. Certain people reject them, and I'm going to continue doing this. Especially because now what I'm interested in is to find out like how this little California vet, that's what I'm going to call you, like California veterinarian, just because that's what you wanted to do. I can't wait to see if this resonates with you next week or next month.
It is right now.
Because I'm fucking right.
You're 100% spot on. Like, the little girl wants out and to not be stifled anymore. And she was hurt a lot by adults, and now adult me is pushing her down.
Fuck. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
You gotta stop. She's stronger than you, by the way, and she's in control of you. Just to add that pump. Yeah, she'll play out your destiny. You'll be going to it back first if you're yelling at her. The little ones inside of us are our destiny. Like they're our heart. That's our soul. It doesn't feel pain. It we are being drawn towards it. That's where we die. Like when we die, we don't have partners. We have that. I think.
I don't know how to let her play. I was one of the, when my kids were little, I was one of those people that didn't know how to play with the kids. I could take them to do things, give them experiences, but I didn't know how to like be and play with them.
I have stuff to say on that too. Have you seen the show Beginnings of Life? I think it's called on Netflix.
No.
It's a really great show. It's a mini series with like 2 long episodes, and then they made a series about it, and it's developmental psychology, and it's really good. It's about babies, and so you just said you don't know how to play with the children. So people who don't know how to play with children, when they were doing research on those types of people, what kind of conclusions do you think they would have found?
That they were damaged children.
Not necessarily damaged,
They
but
didn't have a childhood.
they didn't receive what you can't give. So if you can't give it, you may not have received it. Because we can only give what we know. And so children who are raised, for example, in an institution, like who are in an orphanage and were on their backs and like didn't have lots of people cooing and calling at them all the day, they don't know how to talk to kids as well, statistically. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, how would you?
Well, I mean, if you had a problem like that, you shouldn't punish yourself. You just may not have had the tools. And you are obviously a good person. So like everything brought you to me. So I'm feeling you're amazing. If you like to, I think communication's key. And right now you're cooing and calling at me. So I do think you have it. You have to be gentle to her. You got to coo and caw her. It might not be in your nature, but do what's in your nature.
It is in my nature to be playful and silly and yeah, it's in there.
Yo, I'm daring you to do all these things. Like, I don't know if you want to listen. And I'm daring you because I would love to hear about this in a month or in a week when you're like, because I think there'll be realizations.
I'm even doing things. Okay, I'm 43 years old. Today, I went ice skating for the second time in my entire life because my 14-year-old daughter loves it. And, like, I was terrified to do it.
Double down. Double down on everything you're doing. You're going in the right direction. You're going to break the speed of light. You're going to do, what is it called? The laws of, it's quantum physics, baby. Like the new you is jumping into your brain. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It's real.
it is. It's also, like, scary.
That's the best.
I mean, it's everything. Like, I didn't ever want to go on a roller coaster until I was an adult. I didn't even want to go then. And I know if I ride something, I have to ride it again so I can enjoy it. Like, I can't enjoy anything the first time. I don't know. It's weird.
You got to start talking to yourself though and listening to what you say. You'll start doing it because a lot of times what you say isn't actually your own voice, it's other people's voices.
Yeah.
Ask the little girl. Her voice is your voice. Nobody else's. Even your old self that you think when you're telling her what she wants, what she should have, that isn't her. It's not you.
Yeah.
The things that she wants to do are scary. They're right. She's right.
It's the blessing of my daughter. It's kind of seeing
This has been a good one.
Thank you. I'm so glad that I called, and I hung up, and then it's not an accident. Thank you.
Not an accident. No. Tell them to call if they're listening. Tell them, call. It's not scary. They're scared.
Call. This is really good.
Really
good.
The little Cali veterinarian. That's what I'm going to call this episode on the podcast. And call back. I'm not sure if you're going to remember me. Follow, like, share, contribute. Yeah, do it up. Tell your friends. Be like, because I'm in a playground. Especially when I'm in this place where you see me right now, there's like phones and lights. This is my Garden of Eden. I found my dream. My little boy and I are like on the Enterprise. And we're like, and he's like, Commander, where are we going? Number 1? Or I'm bald, I'm Captain Picard. I'm whoever the fuck I want to be.
Yeah. You're charged. I love it.
Oh, you know what? You're giving me goosebumps. So you're making me feel like fuck. Because like, you never know if you're making the right decisions. You just know you're making the right decisions. You don't get rewarded externally. I wish you did.
Yeah.
You don't. It's my little boy talking to your little girl right now, and he's the one being like, good job. I'm like, thanks. I'm the little boy. I'm like, I did it right.
No, I can feel how charged you are. It's good. And you have a talent, and your little boy's empathy is shining through.
Yes, I totally love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So stay in touch, and I would love to hear from you again. And yeah, message me even if you want to just stay anonymous. Keep me in touch so my little boy and your little girl can jam.
Okay.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Bye. Woo! That was amazing. That was the California veterinarian. That's what her name was on that episode. You guys want to clue in? I'm the Bosscast on Spotify. Check out the links in my bio. California's vet. I can't spell it. It said. There we go. Woo! This is going to be a real episode. It's upwards of 4 hours, so I'm going to finish this episode off. Maybe start another one. Hi. You guys, I set the lights up so you guys can't see my massive pimple. Hey, you guys see that? Hey, it's Pimply Boss. Share this if you've had a pimple. Send some gifts if you guys got gifts. This is the best show. Don't just be a spectator, be a supporter. Those of you who want to support, there's also links in the bio to support. There's access to my... There's also access to the podcast on Spotify. You're going to want to. You can just skip around there. There's a lot of... This is a long chats that I do every day. I am in love, yeah. Blossom Girl, what's up? Please invite your friends, family. Please share. Hey. Who's glad I'm doing this? Rosemary, you guys, thank you. I am looking for supporters, and I'll do this at least once every 2 days. Rosemary, give me a call. Nettie, give me a call. Somebody give me a call. Valentine, give me a call. Woo! Valentine? She's a babe. Elsie, you guys, do me a favor. We're just going to finish this live up.